This ancient city was wiped off the map in hours, buried under ash, sealed like a black box from history, and some believe it may be the closest thing we have ever found to Atlantis. When a plane disappears, we search for the black box, because we need the data, and we need to know what happened in those final seconds. But what happens when an entire civilization disappears? In 1620 BCE, a high-tech city stood on a volcanic rim in the Aegean Sea. They had indoor plumbing, 3-story mansions, and a global trade network. Then, the island exploded with the force of 100 Hiroshima bombs. For 3,500 years, the world called it a myth, the Atlantis. But today, the archaeologists have found the recorder. Beneath 60 meters of ash lies Akrotiri, nature's vault, and it's not a grave. It's a message. Today, we will decode the ash-sealed ark. People call Akrotiri the Minoan Pompeii, but that's not right. Pompeii was a tragedy where people were caught in place. Akrotiri is a vault, so here is the first mystery. There are no bodies, not one. The inhabitants saw the warnings, packed their valuables, and vanished. But in their hurry, they left something better than gold. The volcanic ash formed an airtight, oxygen-free seal. It preserved the negative imprints of wooden tables, delicate pottery, and frescoes so vibrant they look like they were painted yesterday. This wasn't a city that died, it was a city that was archived. How did these buildings survive the massive quakes before the eruption? The mystery lies in the walls. The engineers of Akrotiri used a technique called xylodezia. They built a 3-dimensional wooden skeleton inside the stone masonry. In an earthquake, rigid stone shatters, but these timber frames allowed the walls to flex and dance with the tremors. It's the same principle used in modern earthquake-proof skyscrapers in Tokyo 3,500 years ago. They weren't just building for aesthetics. They were engineering for survival. They built an ark out of stone and wood that could ride the waves of the earth. For centuries, scholars laughed at Plato's story of Atlantis, a city of concentric rings made of red, black, and white stone that vanished in one day and one night. Akrotiri sits on a caldera of red, black, and white volcanic rock. It vanished in a single catastrophic event when the Thera volcano blew. The center of the island literally collapsed into the sea. This is the origin of the sunken kingdom. Akrotiri is the physical evidence that Atlantis wasn't a fairy tale. It was a distorted memory of a real Bronze Age superpower that was literally too advanced for its time. But how did a city on a volcano run a global empire? They used the torch. Archaeologists have discovered the Saros system, a network of man-made stone cones on the highest peaks of the Aegean Islands. This was a prehistoric telecommunications network. By using codified fire signals, Akrotiri could send a data packet, a warning of a storm or the arrival of a trade fleet, across hundreds of miles in minutes. They didn't have satellites, but they had the Saros. Akrotiri was the central server of the world's first high-speed network. We have the city, we have the engineering, but the black box is still locked. Inside these rooms we found tablets covered in linear A. We can read the numbers, but the language itself is an uncrackable code. It is a data file without an operating system. Somewhere on these tablets is the true name of the city, their prayers, and perhaps their final warning. We are holding the hard drive of Atlantis, but we haven't found the password yet. Akrotiri reminds us that no matter how advanced we become, we are always living on the rim of a volcano. The question is, if the Saros lit up tonight, would you be ready to leave everything behind and trust the Ark? The Saros system has been discovered by archaeologists, a momentous find that promises to shed new light on the ancient world. The system, which consists of a series of interconnected structures and artifacts, was found at a remote site in the desert, and excavations are currently underway. Initial findings suggest that the Saros system dates back thousands of years, and may have been part of a larger, now lost civilization. The site is rich in pottery, tools, and intricate carvings that depict a sophisticated society with a deep understanding of astronomy and mathematics. Dr. Anya Sharma, lead archaeologist on the project, expressed her excitement about the discovery. "This is a truly remarkable find," she said. "The Saru system is unlike anything we've ever seen before. It has the potential to rewrite our understanding of early human history. The discovery has generated significant interest from around the world, and many experts are eager to contribute to the research. A multidisciplinary team of archaeologists, historians, and scientists is being assembled to study the site in detail and unlock its secrets. As excavations continue, more discoveries are expected to be made soon, and the Saru system will undoubtedly continue to captivate the imagination of people around the world. We decoded the Ark, the physical city of Akrotiri, frozen in volcanic ash, but a city is just hardware. Now let's crack the software. To understand the true power of Atlantis, follow the torch. This wasn't just a flame, it was a secret navigation system. But how? It let a Bronze Age people rule the oceans without a compass. While the rest of the world stayed in sight of land, these people raced across open water. Let's find out, what is exactly a magma code? In the Aegean, we will analyze the Minoan navigator. Look closely at the frescoes in Akrotiri. These aren't just religious paintings, they are encoded star maps. We've discovered they used linear A geometry and lead lines to map the sea floor. But their real edge was the stars. They synchronized their trade runs with the Etesian winds. By tracking Sirius, they knew when the winds would shift to carry heavy cargo. They weren't just sailing, they were timing the track. Every great dynasty has a pedigree. The Minoan pedigree was built on blue gold, saffron. Why was this city so rich? Because they controlled the world's most expensive commodity. In 1600 BCE, the saffron was currency of health, royalty, and ritual. We found the Zesti 3 building, a massive bank of knowledge and wealth. They stored saffron deep in volcanic rock, where dry geothermal heat kept it potent for decades. This wasn't just a spice, it was their Bitcoin. It let them buy loyalty of every port such as Egypt and Cyprus. Most think the eruption destroyed Minoan records. They're wrong, it archived them. Linear A is a script no modern human can read. It's an encrypted file. Clay tablets are fragile when wet, but permanent when fired. The Thera eruption acted like a kiln, firing thousands of administrative tablets into stone. We are standing on a literal hard drive of Bronze Age science. The treasure of Atlantis isn't gold coins, it's a library of clay. If we crack Linear A, we don't just find a lost city, we will find the blueprint for a lost future. Look at the Minoan pedigree, architecture, trade routes, and navigation. We are looking at a civilization that didn't lose, they just changed tracks. Their training was so advanced that even when the island exploded, their pedigree survived. It flowed into the Mycenaeans, the Greeks, and in today's modern world. The knowledge is still there, buried in the mountain, waiting for the right people to find and bring it into the light. The vault is officially open. Are you ready? What was buried here was not just a city. It was a warning from the past. A civilization frozen in catastrophe, preserved like a black box from a forgotten world. And we may have only begun decoding its message. Subscribe to Wonders Decoded, where history's greatest mysteries are brought back to light.